Good morning. I just had yet another very frustrating conversation with a client. And this client, we've been having a conversation now for over 2 years, just to try to get him to understand that, just because you try harder and don't change anything and expect different results is the ultimate definition of lunacy. And the conversation this morning was, well, we agreed a couple of days ago that we were going to help them out free of charge for 30 days so they can start seeing some results. But his thought process is that now he has to train me. He has to make me understand what's going on in his life. So he says he wants help, but he wants help in his way. Because if he doesn't prove what he's been trying to do for the past X number of years, 10 years or 20 years, I think he's been in the construction industry for more than 20 years. So his goal, his subconscious goal, is to have me help him prove that what he's been doing for the past 20 years was the right thing to do, and he won't change, right? Because if we get on the second Zoom call and he understands that he has to do the opposite of what he's been doing for the past 20 years, that's really going to destroy his ego. So he's, every conversation, every text, everything he tries to do, he says, Leah, you don't understand my life. Well, Christ, I've been listening to you for 2 years now. You've told me every detail about, how you allowed people to embezzle from you, how you hired the wrong people, how you're not making enough money on your projects, or your projects are running too long and you're losing your profit. So why do I need to know more detail about that? Obviously, you need to design a company properly. You need to have the margins. Projects have to start and finish on time. You have to compare budgeted to actual, right? If you know you're half an hour behind schedule on this job, well, it's time to pick it up and finish on time. At least finish today's goals on time so the project finishes on time. So this is a constant battle with him and most other people, actually. And he doesn't understand that I've asked him to put aside 10%, up to 40% of his time to, to start designing the future. I sent him a business blueprint of what exactly his company looks like. He likes those ideas, but now it's time to start changing, and change is very scary, right? Even the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know, right? Even though he's not making money, he's struggling, he's working 14 16-hour days, it's still the devil he knows that. Even though he's struggling, it's comfortable, right? Change is uncomfortable. Adapting to a new style and changing your mindset and doing everything else is mind-boggling to him. And I've asked him 4 or 5 times already to schedule a second Zoom call, and he doesn't. He keeps coming back with the excuses. And my colleagues at the CEO Club said, Leo, why do you bother? Why do you bother with these people, right? Why don't you just concentrate on your paying clients, profitable clients, the clients you're getting results from, just concentrate on those, right? Well, when I was struggling with my business, I started my construction business at 17. Do you think I would have loved someone to come along and say, hey, Leo, let me show you a better way, right? I would have loved somebody to do that. So it's my way of giving back. I don't give up on people. For as long as they try, I don't like giving up on him. So going back to what he was saying this morning, that he has a lot of work to do. Is he supposed to just not, price jobs, not do jobs, not do the other things? And what he doesn't understand is there are efficient ways of doing things and non-efficient ways of doing things. Okay, as an example, the two lumberjack story. There are the story goes there are two lumberjacks, and they both wake up early, and one of them gets out of bed, picks up his axe and gets to work, right? The other one picks up his axe and spends an hour sharpening his axe before he goes to work. And of course, the other guy laughs at him, like, how can you waste an hour? I mean, that's ridiculous. Just get to work, right? So at the end of the day, one chops down 12 trees and the other one chops down 2 trees, right? So, and yet the guy who chops down 2 trees never looks at the other guy and say, well, what did he do differently than I'm doing? I mean, he's working hard, I'm working hard. Maybe he has better tools, right? So business owners never ask, what are the leverage tools that I need in business? So even though he's working 14 hours a day or 16 hours a day, is he being efficient? Everything he accomplished in 16 hours, could he do it in 8 by using better tools? Estimating software, subbing out the 90% of the estimation. Now you only have to check the figures in the math, right? Or use software, right? Same thing with designing contracts. Are you using a template? Are you using voice dictation software where you can type 1,000 words per minute? Are you using uh, other tools for social media to build trusted relationships? So even though you price a job and you're underbidding everyone else, because he's underbidding because history shows he's not making any money on these projects. So he's trying to win these projects on price, right? If you win projects on price and it's a race to the bottom, right? And everybody else you're competing against, the other people are competing on price, and you don't rise above the price, then it's a race to the bottom. And he still doesn't see that, right? Doing a $400,000 addition or a $500,000 addition, or doing a custom home, or doing an $80,000 kitchen, or whatever the project is not about price. It's about gaining credibility with a client, building trust with a client. Even though everybody else is pricing at 40,000, you're landing jobs at 80,000 or 120,000 because they trust you, because you've shown them how this particular kitchen will increase the value of the home or resale value of the home, and it's not a good idea to lower the value of the home at $40,000, right? So when you show the client why they want to do business with you, because you have their best interests in mind, you're going to win more profitable clients. So he's not doing that clearly. So he believes that working hard is the best thing to do. Working smart, using leverage tools, building trust is what you should be doing. So I would love to hear your questions, comments below. How are you using leverage tools? How are you using efficiency? When was the last time you did an efficiency study in your company? When was the last time you had an outsider's perspective from your company, right? Or are you still doing the same things you were doing 10 or 20 years ago? Because the world has moved on, right? We are now in the Amazon expectation culture, right? We want things the next day. We want things. We want results. Even employees want, advancement opportunities. And if you're not attracting quality employees, your business is not designed correctly. So obviously his business is not designed correctly, but he wants help designing his business to make, to massage his ego. I mean, that's not going to work. I don't know how to do that. I only know how to design efficient businesses that work for the owner, not the owner work for the business. So most people say they're willing to change, they're capable of change, but this gentleman clearly is not. Because if it's different from what he's done for the past 20 years, then he's not going to change, right? So he's agreed to schedule a second call. So let's see what happens on the second call. Would love to hear your questions, comments below. Let's talk again soon. Take care.